Uh, let's see. I'm just literally reading on looking at replies to the fact that the spaces.
Are there any good questions that I've missed out in the last 6 months? I'm sure there are many.
I mean, people generally seem to like this interview, from what I can tell. Very few negative comments, so generally positive.
Is that that's probably bad for me.
I'm scrolling as fast as I can to sort of see. I guess there's some complaints about Twitter Spaces needing some improvement. Let's fix Twitter Spaces is one of the comments. People like the fact that my dog Floki is the CEO. And I'm really just scrolling as fast as I can here.
I guess my reflection on this interview.
I'd just like to say I like BBC.
Okay. You obviously find that very funny.
I do find it funny.
I think, I mean, honestly, listening to the interview, the answer about misinformation and saying, oh, we don't police misinformation in the same way, but because we try and get bots, because we try and take down bots, we'll be effective at bots. There's actually less misinformation on the platform.
I think that's a big factor.
I'd like to ask you one more question on that, because it does. Sure. I mean, that is quite a lot of people. I think will be listening to this and thinking, really, you're arguing you can police content moderation far less and end up with less misinformation.
First of all, we do have people content moderation. It's not like we don't.
I've spoken to lots of people who've been fired. So lots of people have been let go. I mean, you've gone from 8,000 to 15,000.
The Censorship Bureau was let go. I don't think the sort of putting a thumb on the political scales in the far left has been let go, because that's not right. That's not what you want for a public square. You've got to have equal treatment for people from across the political spectrum. So, some of them are going to be upset about that. But like I said, my experience is that there's less misinformation these days, not more, and that the community notes feature is extremely powerful for addressing so-called misinformation.
I mean, you've had community notes placed on your own tweets.
Yes.
One of them involving an alleged diamond mine.
Diamond mine?
A mine that.
What diamond mine?
A mine that your father part owned.
Yeah, my father never owned a so you're thinking of an emerald mine?
Emerald mine.
Yeah, I'd like to see a picture of this alleged emerald mine.
Because you've been community noted on that tweet.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, but he never owned a emerald mine. This is total bullshit.
Not even a 50% stake.
No.
Because in community notes.
But first of all, okay. Do you think something like an emerald mine would have like some sort of property register? There'd be like a picture of it. It's not like you can say, "Oh, that's my mine." These things are hotly debated. If you've got something valuable, you have to have some property record, like a house, but much more important than a house. And yet there is no property record whatsoever. There is no picture of this mine whatsoever. It doesn't exist. It's fake.
So it's a really good example then, because there is a community note on that tweet that says, you said this thing on the X day, blah, blah, blah. So in that instance, the community notes didn't work. So you're saying that that's a way of solving misinformation, but you're literally saying one of those community notes is wrong.
The community note may be referring to a thing where I went on a trip with my father to Zambia, but I never saw any mine or anything. So there's no mine. I'm
not right, but at this point I'm just saying the community note says it is. So you're saying it's this big great panacea, but yeah, it's literally on your own tweet, the community notes, according to you, are wrong.
If they're referencing an article, then the article may not be wrong, but they're still referencing. The community notes is not going to be perfect, but it's the batting average of community notes I found to be extremely high.
Right.
So
community notes plus getting rid of millions and millions of bots every day, I guess. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what you think is tackling misinformation over content moderation. And I think that's the bit that a lot of people will go, really?
Yes, really. But look, the acid test is people will use the system and find it to be a good source of truth, or they don't. And no system is going to be perfect in its pursuit of the truth. But I think we can be the best, the least inaccurate. That's our goal. The least inaccurate. And I think I think we might be there already. If we're not there, we'll be there soon.
Do you have? I've spoken to people who think this. Do you have a kind of message for people who think that Twitter has been ruined?
Well, we have all-time high usage, so I don't think it has been.
Some people think it has been. I'll tell you that.
Yes, well, they're probably the same people who predicted that Twitter would cease to exist, and their predictions have turned out to be false.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you whether you think it's been ruined, because obviously you're not going to.
No, I think it's great. Yes. That's way better. Better by a lot.
I'm done with this interview. It sounds like you don't want to take any questions from your legions of fans. So,
I mean, I was just looking for, questions. You got any questions?
Yeah, here's the people that have
Okay.
requested.
Oh yeah, let's hear from Doge Designer.
On your phone, if you want to try that.
Okay. So what do I do?
Cool.
Type of the guy.
Yeah, he's muted.
we're just getting some technical help for anyone who's listening.
Doge Designer's muted.
Okay, so how do you unmute?
He just needs to.
Okay. Doge Designer, if you unmute, you can talk.
Hey, Elon, what's up? Can you hear me?
Let's unmute Jason and David as well. And
Alex.
I think
and definitely Walter Isaacson if he does want to speak.
I actually
So I can bring up Alex too.
Yeah, sure. Well, we'll get a few people going here.
I thought we had half an hour for this interview.
I know, it was so good. We just supposed to keep going.
I was told you were very pressed for time.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Alex, you can speak.
Hey, what's going on? Ooh, echoes.
Yeah.
All right, that's better. So my question actually had to do with more privileges or features for long-term Twitter Blue subscribers. One of the complaints I hear a lot is people who change just their profile picture and not their display name, how they lose their verification badge. I know there's an ID verification coming up as well. What are your thoughts for expanding privileges for longtime subscribers so they kind of gain trust with the platform, where they might not have to lose their blue check if they just change their profile picture as opposed to their name and profile picture?
Yeah, just during this kind of transition period, we're extra vigilant about impersonation. So I agree that over time, if somebody has a trusted track record, they should be able to change their name and profile picture without losing the blue check. During this transition period, we want to be, just like I said, extra vigilant against impersonation. So that's why we're being so rigorous in this regard. Now, if somebody has organizational affiliation, they can change their name or picture without losing the verification check because they're cross-verified with their organization. So I really would encourage people to get organizational verification as much as possible, and then we're going to add, so you can have multiple organizational affiliations. I think this is going to be really powerful for avoiding impersonation. I've heard from a lot of people that impersonation is a serious issue, actually more on other platforms than Twitter, and I think that if you can say that you really do belong to, if some organization can say that you really do belong to them, that's a great way to address impersonation risk.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Cool.
Hey, Elon, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
All good. I'm flying to US tomorrow. I just have a couple of questions for you. One is like I will be asked why you are here in like US. So what should I tell them? I am here to visit Twitter headquarters or just Twitter headquarters?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I would recommend adding the W for the authorities.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And second question is like, will I be able to meet the Twitter CEO there or no?
Sure.
Perfect. Can't wait. And I just have one message for James. Like, you know, the number of people, like, you know, in this Twitter space. So you should be responsible. Like, you should be a responsible reporter. You are claiming that you are seeing a lot of hate speech, but you could not even give a single example. So I just request you to be a responsible speaker. That's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's see. Let's see. David or Jason, I don't know if you guys can speak. You're welcome to if you'd like.
I just want to clear up what I said there. You said has your, I believe you said something like, has your feed got more hateful or something, and I said my For You feed has got a bit more hateful. I didn't say I was seeing tons of hate speech on it. That's not what I said.
No,
but you can, I mean, you can frame it like that.
Well, look, it's
sure
recorded, so you know, it's not like we don't have to like engage in guesswork here. It's recorded.
In terms of your For You feed, are you just trying to get as many videos that are viral to people as possible to get people to stay on the platform? Is that?
Well, I think if we keep people entertained, then they're gonna.
A lot of people, or it's like, you know,
somehow uninteresting, then they will leave. Yeah.
There has been this talk that that people like you and other senior celebrities, some journalists, get favorable treatment on the algorithms.
Well, you're getting favorable treatment right now.
Do you give yourself favorable treatment on the algorithm?
No.
No?
In fact, the algorithm is open sourced, so you can see exactly what's going on.
I believe the For You one is open source. Is that right?
Well, following is just who you follow. It's pretty.
Right.
It's no algorithm. It's just.
There's still an algorithm. Yeah, there's still an algorithm. What you see, you don't see every single.
No, in following, you should see all the tweets of people that you follow. If not, there's a bug in the system.
Right. Just sequentially.
When they tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, following is literally the thing they say when they say it. There shouldn't be any algorithmic interaction there. It's hard to actually see. Well, I definitely see some room for improvement from a functionality standpoint. Because when you have a really big spaces, it's hard to see who. It's actually hard to even see who's requesting to speak because there's so many.
You can add there, but the people that request are here.
Okay, it's a long list.
Max like 60, I think.
Oh, okay.
At a time.
I've got a question here. Someone's texted me.
Okay.
What about Elon Jet?
What about him?
That was obviously quite a controversial moment when I think you did you ban his account for a while, and then said you couldn't live because he was doxing you.
Yeah, real time doxing of locations is not okay.
Was that flexing your muscle overly? I mean,
no, it's just real time doxing is not allowed.
But if I take a picture of someone in the street and then tweet it, is that doxing?
If it's against their will and you're sort of following them around, then yeah, that would be doxing.
But Elon Jet wasn't following you around; he was just using publicly available information, wasn't he?
No, it wasn't. He actually
I know there's debate.
It's actually not true.
I know there's debate about that.
There's debate. Yeah, he was using non-public information combined with public information.
Do you think that you sort of gave yourself favorable treatment there? I mean, that's the criticism on that.
No, it's just real-time doxing is not allowed.
But that wasn't right. But that wasn't you. You literally created that rule after that.
Actually, no, it just was unevenly enforced.
Right.
So there's a no doxing rule. It was unevenly enforced. In fact, in general, part of the issue with the prior management of Twitter is they have all these rules, but they'd only enforce them against some people and not against others.
You know what doxing generally means, which is revealing someone's address.
Yes. So where they are.
Right, as I say, taking a picture is revealing where someone is.
Yeah,
you could be in a concert.
Yeah,
and take a picture of loads of people. And then tweet it.
If you can't recognize them, then it's not a thing.
I think it was clarified where they would say that if it was a public event like a concert or say a political rally or whatever, that's a public space rather than somebody is traveling. You know, I think there's the distinction there.
Yeah, it's not someone's house, right? If you're going to somebody's house and you're taking a photo of it, say J.K. Rowling, right? So several people have harassed her at her house. That would be doxing, right? And they have been gotten rid of. So yeah. I don't know where the question is here, James.
It was actually a question that got texted to me. It wasn't on my list. Let's move on. To be honest, I'm done. So
okay, do you want to leave?
I'm happy to. If you want to carry on doing questions,
yeah, maybe I will.
You're welcome to. This will be the first time the interviewer has ever walked out of an.
How to turntables.
How long are you going to sit here for? We're just going to pack up around you. Is that how it's going to work?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Well, look, Elon, thank you very much for talking to me.
You're welcome.
So that was fun, Elon. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Sounds good. Well, this is really giving me a long list of feature improvements that we need for Spaces.
Yeah, I have a bunch of suggestions. Not right now, but I do. Being on Twitter Spaces every single day, there are a host of problems. First of all, where's the desktop app? Right, I want to connect with a nice microphone. Yeah, and the phone overheats.
It's pretty good, but it's like it's a lot of things need to be improved. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. There's a laundry list of things.
All right, cool.
How often do you stalk Twitter Spaces? I'm like, I'm sure you have like an alt account or something. Do you stalk Twitter Spaces?
No, not really. And I actually didn't even have a burner account. I do have a second account at this point because I need to test the app before it goes out. So it's kind of like a beta test account. But no, I don't have a burner or anything like that.
Okay.
And never have had.
So no Pierre. What was that guy's
Pierre
name?
Delecto.
Mitt Romney.
Pierre Delecto.
Pierre Delecto. Yeah. Pierre Delectos and Zaza Demons. Yeah, none of those. Okay.
Nope. So, well, let's see. I mean, any key points anyone wants to make? Otherwise, I'll sign off in a few minutes. I don't know if the other guys do. I think whole Mars blog is here. Maybe he has some questions.
Yeah, I had one question about Twitter. Elon, some media had been reporting today that Twitter bought 10,000 GPUs for some type of generative AI project. And I also noticed that on Twitter, there were a couple of people who mentioned working at AI infrastructure, the supercomputing team at both Tesla and Twitter. I was wondering if you could share anything with us about what Twitter's working on there, and if there's maybe any synergies, maybe Twitter using Dojo or something like that, or what exactly is going on with this project.
Well, it seems like everyone, and their dog is buying GPUs at this point. It's kind of getting to the point where like you're going to have to buy GPUs in a back alley. So there's certainly a lot of people buying GPUs, and Twitter and Tesla are certainly buying GPUs, and we're also working on Dojo. So I think there's a lot of potential there with Dojo that people don't realize. So, yeah.
Oh, actually, I do have a question, and I guess people keep DMing me. They're wondering what's the future of the Twitter files. Do you still have any journalists working on these things, or no?
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point we need to move on from the Twitter files, but I think there's a few things left. But generally, I think there's not a lot that I'm aware of that's left. So it's mostly just like, let's just move on to the future.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think that's more or less true. What are your thoughts on companies like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok kind of following Twitter's footsteps? I think Facebook recently did a verification thing for $15, which is like double the price. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I said, my opinion is that any social media organization that does not insist on paid verification will be worthless. Because at this point, you take Instagram, for example, if you can generate an infinite number of those pics using Midjourney,
Yep.
and for free, well, not for free, but for very little, and you can get at this point, modern AI can pass, any human verification test. So the only solution that I can think of is to increase the cost of fake accounts. So if somebody's paying on the order of $8 a month, that's $100 a year, and they also need to get a credit card and a phone number from a reputable carrier. So then like it's much harder to create like 1 million bots, whereas if you don't require those things, it's trivial, frankly, to create 1 million bots.
Yeah.
And they'll all seem very human, and will take very little computing effort to do so. So that's why I think basically any social media that does not require paid verification will basically cease to be relevant.
Makes sense. Speaking of generative content, is it possible for you guys to add a flag that says that, hey, this video or this image is, for like I make a lot of AI generated content, and a lot of it looks real, right? I put one of Donald Trump making out with Gavin Newsom, and a lot of people thought it was real. Yeah,
I mean,
it's on the timeline, right?
You have anything, it looks pretty real,
right?
And
yeah,
including the voice, that can get the voice matched and the video matched. I mean, it's really getting to the point where it'll be quite easy to generate extremely realistic fake videos, images, and so forth, and voice. Yeah. I mean, I saw like a fake like Joe Rogan interview, and it really sounded like Joe Rogan's voice.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it to Joe, and he was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." So yeah, I think verification is going to be extremely fundamental in the future. That's why we're so focused on it.
So, I mean, the reason I brought that up is, as a content creator, I'd like to keep making those, and I don't want to necessarily fool people, right? So, would it be possible to, I don't know, add a flag to it so that, content creators can say, hey, this is AI generated content, don't take it seriously, it's a parody?
Well, I think in the tweet, in the post, I think that it would be advisable to say that this is not real.
Right.
If it is something that can be
Mm-hmm.
Potentially misinterpreted.
Okay. So it's on me.
I mean, it was crazy how viral that picture of the Pope with the awesome
Balenciaga. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there was one of Joe Biden falling off the airplane. I mean, I made that one.
that
right?
was good. You could also add it to the alt
honestly, this is
description.
like the best advertising that Balenciaga's ever gotten in their entire existence. Like the Harry Potter Balenciaga Demon Flying Fox one was genius.
Oh,
that was amazing.
Work of art. He made a D1 today. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And actually, even the AI fashion is great.
Right. I mean, if I was a fashion designer, I'd be taking ideas from this because the stuff it makes is actually original, right? Yeah.
The AI fashion is incredible.
Yeah.
So I mean, just can we just like print that somehow or make it, because it's amazing.
Maybe you should patent the idea. Just have like an AI fashion generator thing that prints them out, and it's like I think there's Craft or something, right? Like the clothing manufacturer thing that you can sort of do it at home. Yeah. Yeah, patent it. You can make so much money.
Well, I don't really believe in patents, actually, because it's like really bad.
Make it open source. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's really some amazing AI generated clothing. It's really cool. And that I really love that one with the Pope, and that went viral. A lot of people thought that the Pope actually had that outfit, which is not like totally out of the question, because there's a lot of amazing fashion in Italy. So it's possible that some fashion house made a really epic coat for the Pope. And But that was that was obviously AI generated. I mean, we're headed into a weird world here.
We are.
Where like
Video
just knowing,
games.
like trying to figure out what's real is super hard.
Yeah, I mean, I fooled millions of people with the the one of Joe Biden falling off the airplane. So I mean, anything's possible, right?
Well, that I mean, he has slept a few times on the stairwell, so the stairway. So that's
Yeah.
it's quite believable in that situation. So, a bunch of things like very close to the truth are. It's quite reasonable to expect that people would interpret that as possibly true. So yeah, I think just verification that an account is real, that material is real. The what is real anymore is an extremely fundamental question.
We live in a post-truth world, right? I mean, that's what Bill Clinton used to say.
Yeah. So, here at Twitter, we're going to be very focused on, figuring out what's real, and if it's not real, then, trying to address it.
I mean, I think Nick Sorter has been doing a great job of, covering the news, right? Like 4 hours ahead of the AP. So, I mean, that's a big plus for Twitter that you have citizen journalists now who are able to cover this stuff hours before anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the real-time news, this is the best place. Is Twitter, and like I said, any given source of information is going to have some degree of inaccuracy, and we can just aspire to make that as small as possible, and iterate towards being closer to the truth over time. That is our goal.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, it's a good goal, but we're definitely not going to assert that everything we say is everything you see on Twitter is true, because it isn't. I think once you view very skeptically any organization that claims to be completely truthful, so because they're not, and so that very claim is false. So I think it's important to reflect on what mistakes we're making and try to make fewer of them in the future.
Yeah, iterate. Unlike the media.
Could you tell us about X Corp? Is this just something that's like a legal thing that you had to do, or is there maybe something more to it?
There is something more to it.
Hell yeah.
You want to tell us what it is?
Like I said, my goal is to create X the Everything app. That's the goal. That's what we're working towards.
Nice. And Twitter is a first step?
Yeah, Twitter is an accelerant to X the Everything app.
What does that mean? What does it mean?
Well, I guess you'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Oh, I love it.
For another episode.
I've canceled my Netflix subscription.
Tune in next week.
Twitter's taken my time. Yeah. Thank you for that. Like, it's very entertaining. Very entertaining.
It's very entertaining. I was thinking like Twitter does make me miserable at times, but it actually makes me laugh as well. And and I think if it's sort of entertaining and informative, and then we're doing a good job.
There's a difference between Twitter and TikTok, because TikTok is mostly passive entertainment. You're just watching videos, right? But on Twitter, you're interacting, you're saying things to people, and when you tweet at a celebrity, there's a pretty good chance they read your tweets and they get irritated by it. Let's say you're trolling them, which is what I do. So, I mean, it's good, it's fun. Having that reaction, it's like playing a video game, but better.
Yeah, totally, exactly. I mean, honestly, this is Twitter is troll heaven.
Oh hell yeah!
and
a lot of the media is going to hate it because they want to control space, safe space.
It's totally troll heaven on Twitter. And the thing is, like, even I even get trolled, and I'm like, God damn! Why did I get trolled again? That was really dumb.
Right. Yeah, I get trolled every day, and it's like, part and parcel of being on Twitter.
Yeah, totally.
It's worth it.
On that note, did you see the guy who got charged for a meme on Twitter? What were your thoughts on that? I know you commented on it. I didn't know if you got to look more into it. His name's Douglas Mackey.
Oh, that's the guy who I guess was accused of election interference or something.
Yeah,
Isn't that the counselor from South Park?
Your vote or something?
Yeah, like, people shouldn't believe everything that they see online, and I don't think that should be criminal.
No, I think criminal is it's over the top there. I would agree with that. They went too far. If that's the standard for throwing someone in prison, then there should be a lot of people in prison.
Yeah, what are you in prison for? Oh, meme crimes. You know, that's-
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, there's like murderers running free, you know? So
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Exactly.
precisely. I mean, look at San Francisco, right? Pretty damn good example. Look
Yeah.
at crime there. Ugh. I was in San Francisco, I don't know, a decade ago. It was fine. And now I look at it and it's like, I don't recognize this place anymore.
Yeah. Something needs to be done about the crime situation in San Francisco. It's really
The
good.
area around Twitter's headquarters especially is like zombie apocalypse is the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, literally. It's like if people sort of think, oh, maybe you're exaggerating. I'm like, no, you can just
No.
literally come here any day of the week, including like 10 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. Like we're not talking like midnight stuff. Literally mid morning, driving into Twitter, it looks like it looks insane. So you just people can just come here and see with their own eyes. It's it's next level.
Or, watch the videos on Twitter because it's safer.
Yeah.
As sad as it is, right? Oh, man, like every
It's
single day.
intense. I mean, it's like you're like, whoa.
I mean, it can be overplayed too. I mean, I spend my time often being outside Twitter with a camera doing lives.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Outside Twitter?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you're brave.
what are you doing? Like pointing the camera at the sign or something?
Pointing a camera at me with Twitter behind.
Really?
During a news
Are you
thing.
serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Is it because it's more sort of gives an ambiance or something?
Yeah, you must have seen the news, right? That's
I know. I suppose I have seen a few things where there's sort of people doing interviews with the Twitter sign in the background, and I guess that's more interesting than just being in a studio or something.
Well, I mean, next time I do it, you can just invite me in.
Okay, sure. Just shoot me a note.
Great.
But it's the W is now background color, so.
It's Twitter.
Look, I held a poll, and there was a strong yes on Twitter, removing the W.
Right, you got to abide by the people, right? Vox populi, Vox Dei.
Exactly.
In certain exceptions, not all, as we've already established.
No, I said I would appoint a new CEO, and I did, and it's my dog. I don't know why people have. What do you got against dogs? They're fine. Dogs are great.
They hate dogs.
Only dog haters would be opposed to making the dog the CEO.
I see people saying, "Oh, you promised to quit and step down." I'm like, "Well, no. The dog's the CEO.
Yeah, the dog's the CEO. Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah,
it's a great dog.
I mean, there are towns where the mayor is the dog, right? They elect a dog because all the people suck. And here's the same thing. Yeah, dog's always cool.
Yeah, he's got great instincts.
Yeah. Oh man.
So, anyway, I hope people have a good time on Twitter and learn things. And like I said, the acid test is unregretted user time, and if it's unregretted user time is growing, then we're doing the right thing. So.
That's good. I like to hear that. I mean, I love Twitter, and it's good to see things go onward and upward.
All right, sounds good. Well, good talking, guys. I'll head back to work, and thanks for all your feedback.
Yeah,
likewise.
3 million people joined this space.
Wow, 3 million?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Dang.
People really like that part of the interview where you started interviewing them. You should do it more often.
Oh yeah. Oh, that
You're
was
good at
solid.
grilling
This
journalists.
is Elon Musk interviewing the BBC.
I'm still here, by the way.
He's still, wait, you can still hear me? Oh no.
All
Okay.
right, well,
All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Fun time.
we enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing it.
Thanks for the entertainment.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. All right. Thanks. Signing off, guys.
All right, I'm
Bye.
leaving.
Bye bye.